Gold is for the mistress, silver for the maid, copper for the craftsman, cunning at his trade. Good, cried the Baron, sitting in his hall, but iron, cold iron, is the master of them all. So he made rebellion against the king, his liege, camped before his citadel, and summoned it to siege. Nay, said the cannoneer on the castle wall, but iron, cold iron, shall be master of you all. Woe for the Baron and his knights so strong, when the cruel cannonballs laid him all along. He was taken prisoner, he was cast in thrall, and iron, cold iron, was the master over all. Yet his king spake kindly, ah, how kind a lord! What if I release thee now, and give thee back thy sword? Nay, said the Baron, mock not at my fall, for iron, cold iron, is the master of them all. Tears are for the craven, prayers are for the clown, altars for the silly neck that cannot keep a crown. As my loss is grievous, so my hope is small, for iron, cold iron, must be master of men all. Yet his king made answer, few such kings there be. Here is bread and here is wine, now sit and sup with me. Eat and drink in Mary's name, while I do recall how iron, cold iron, can be master of men all. He took the wine and blessed it, he blessed and broke the bread. With his own hands he served them, and presently he said, see, these hands they pierced with nails outside my city wall. Show iron, cold iron, to be master of men all. Wounds are for the desperate, blows are for the strong, balm and oil for weary hearts, all cut and bruised with wrong. I forgive thy treason, I redeem thy fall, for iron, cold iron, must be master of men all. Crowns are for the valiant, scepters for the bold, thrones and powers for mighty men who dare to take and hold. Nay, cried the Baron, kneeling in his hall, but iron, cold iron, is the master of men all. Iron, cold iron, is the master of men all. A knight came home from the quest, muddied and sore he came, battered of shield and crest, bannerless, bruised and lame. Fighting we take no shame, wiser is man for a fall. Merrily born the bugle horn answered the warder's call. Here is my lance to mend, and here is my horse to be shot. Ah, yes, they were strong, the fight was long, but I paid as good as I got. Yeah, I paid as good as I got. Oh, dark and deep their van that mocked my battle cry. I could not miss my man, but I could not carry by. Utterly whelmed was I, flung under horse and all. Merrily born the bugle horn answered the warder's call. Here is my lance to mend, here is my horse to be shot. Ah, yes, they were strong and the fight was long, but I paid as good as I got. Yeah, I paid as good as I got. My wounds are noised abroad, but there's my foeman cloaked. You see my broken sword, but never the blade she broke. Paying them stroke for stroke, good bargaining over all. Merrily born the bugle horn answered the warder's call. my horse to be shot. Aye, yes, they were strong and the fight was long, but I paid as good as I got. Aye, I paid as good as I got. My shame you count and know. You say that my quest is vain, but you have not seen my foe, and you have not counted his slain. Surely he fights again, again, but when you prove his line, there will come to your aid my broken blade in this last lost fight of mine. And here is my lance to mend, and here is my horse to be shot. Aye, yes, they were strong and the fight was long, but I paid as good as I got. Yeah, I paid as good as I got. What is the moral? Who rides may read. When the night is thick and the tracks are blind, a friend at a pinch is a friend indeed. But a fool to wait for the laggard behind. Down together or up to the throne, he travels the fastest who travels alone. White hands cling to the tightened rein, slipping the spur from the booted heel. Tenderest voices cry, turn again. Red lips tarnish the scabbarded steel. High hopes faint on a warm heart stone. He travels the fastest who travels alone. One may fall, but he falls by himself. Falls by himself, with himself to blame. One may attain, and to him is the pelf. The loot of the city in gold or fame. The wonder of earth shall be all his own, who travels the fastest and travels alone. Therefore the more be ye helped and stayed, stayed by a friend in the hour of toil. Sing this heretical song I have made. His be the labor and yours the spoil. Win by his aid and the aid disown. He travels the fastest who travels alone. This is the state above the law, the state that exists for the state alone. This is a gland at the back of the jaw, and an answering lump by the collarbone. Some die shouting in gas or fire, some die silent by shell and shot. Some die desperate, caught on the wire. Some die suddenly, this will not. Regis Suprema, Weland took flex. it will follow the usual course of throats. Some die pinned by the broken decks. Some die sobbing between the boats. Some die eloquent, pressed to death by the sliding trench as their friends can hear. Some die wholly in half a breath. Some give trouble for half a year. There is neither evil nor good in life, except as the needs of the state ordain. Since it is rather too late for the knife, all we can do is to mask the pain. Some die saintly in faith and hope. Some die thus in the prison yard. Some die broken by rape or the rope. Some die easily, this dies hard. I will dash to pieces who bar my way. Woe to the traitor, woe to the weak. Oh, let him write what he wishes to say. It tires him out if he tries to speak. Some die quietly, some abound in loud self-pity, others spread bad morale through the cots around. This is a type that is better dead. The war was forced on me by my foes. All that I sought was the right to live. Don't be afraid of a triple dose. The pain will neutralize half we give. Here are the needles, see that he dies, while the effects of the drug endure. What is that question he asks with his eyes? Oh, yes, all highest to God is sure. I closed and drew for my love's sake, that now is false to me. And I slew the reaver of Tarrant Moss, and set to many free. They have gone down, they have gone down, they are standing all in a row. 20 knights in the peat water that never struck a blow. Their armor shall not dull nor rust, their flesh shall not decay. For Tarrant Moss holds them in trust until the judgment day. Their soul went from them in their youth. Would to God that mine had gone, when as I leaned on my love's truth, and not on my sword alone. When as I leaned on a lad's belief, and not on my naked blade, I slew a thief and an honest thief for the sake of a worthless maid. They have laid the reaver low in his place, they have set me up on high, but the 20 knights in the peat water are luckier than I. And ever they give me gold and praise, and ever I mourn my loss, that I struck the blow for my false love's sake, and not for the men of the moss. And ever they give me gold and praise, and ever I mourn my loss, that I struck the blow for my false love's sake, and not for the men of the moss, not for the men of the moss. killed a child to please the gods in Earth's young penitence, and I have bled in that babe's stead because of innocence. I bear the sins of sinful men that have no sin of my own. They drive me forth to heaven's wrath, unpastured and alone. I am the meat of sacrifice, the ransom of man's guilt. They give my life to the altar knife, wherever a shrine is built. Dark children of the marsh and mere wallow and waste and leave. Outcast we wait at the village gate with folk of low degree. Our pasture is in no man's land, our abode the cattle scorn. Our rest is mire and our desire the thicket and the thorn. But woe to those who break our sleep, and woe to those who dare to rouse the buffalo from his cape, or the wild boar from his lair. Shove off from the wharf edge steady, watch for a smooth give way. If she feels the lop already, she'll stand on her head in the bay. It's ebb, it's dusk, it's blowing, the shoals are a mile of white, but snatch her along, we're going to find our master tonight. For we hold that in all disaster of shipwreck, storm, or sword, a man must stand by his master when once he has pledged his word. Raging seas we've rode in, but we seldom saw them thus. Our master is angry with Odin, and Odin is angry with us. Heavy odds have we taken, but never before such odds. The gods know they are forsaken, we're risking the wrath of the gods. Over the crest she flies from, into its hollow she drops, cringes and clears her eyes from the wind-torn breaker tops. Out on the shrieking shoulder of a mile-high surge she drives. Meet her and hold her, pull for your scoundrel lives. The thunders bellow and clamor the harm that they mean to do. There goes Thor's own hammer, wrecking the dark in two. Close, but the blow has missed her. Here comes the wind of the blow. Row, or the squall will twist her. Broadside onto it, row, row. Hark ye, Thor of the thunders, we are not here for a jest, for wager, for warfare, or plunder, or to put your power to the test. This work is none of our wishing. We'd house at home if we might, but our master is wrecked out fishing, and we go to find him tonight. For we hold that in all disaster, as the gods themselves have said, a man must stand by his master till one or the other is dead. Now that's our way of thinking. Now you can do as you will, while we try to save her from sinking and hold her head to it still. Bail her and keep her moving, or she'll break her back in the trough. Who said the weather's improving, or the swells are slacking off? Sodden, chafed, and aching, gone in the loins and the knees. No matter, the day is breaking, and there's far less weight to the seas. Up mast and finish bailing, in oars and out with the lead. The rest will be to reef sailing, and that was a night indeed. But we hold that in all disaster, and faith, we have found it true, that if only you stand by your master, then the gods will stand by you. A smith makes me to betray my man in my first fight, to gather gold at the world's end. I am sent. The gold I gather to land out of deep water, like a shining fish. Then it descends into deep water. It is not given for goods or gear, but for the thing. The gold I gather, a king covets for an ill use. The gold I gather is drawn up out of deep water, like a shining fish. Then it descends into deep water. Given for goods or gear, but for the thing. The gold I gather when it descends into deep water. It is not given for goods or gear, but for the thing. See you the ferny ride that steals into the oak woods far. Oh, that was whence they hewed the keels that rolled to Trafalgar. And mark you where the ivy clings to Bayham's mouldering walls. Oh, there we cast the stout railings that stand around St. Paul's. See you the dimpled track that runs all hollow through the wheat. Oh, that was where they hauled the guns that smote King Philip's fleet. Out of the Weald the secret Weald men sent in ancient years. The horseshoes red at Flodden Field and the arrows at Poitiers. See you our little mill that clacks so busy by the brook. She has ground her corn and paid her tax ever since the Domesday Book. See you our stilly woods of oak and the dread ditch beside. Oh, that was where the Saxons broke on the day that Harold died. See you the windy levels spread about the gates of Rye. Oh, that was where the Northmen fled when Alfred's ships came by. See you our pastures wide and lone where the red oxen browse. Oh, there was a city thronged and known before London boasted a house. And see you after rain the trace of mound and ditch and wall. Oh, that was a legion's camping place when Caesar sailed from Gaul. And see you marks that show and fade like shadows on the downs. They are the lines that the Flint men made to guard their wondrous towns. Trackway and camp and city lost, salt marsh where now is corn. Old wars, old peace, old arts that cease, and so was England born. She is not any common earth, water or wood or air, but Merlin's Isle of Gramarye, where you and I will fare, where you and I will fare. When I left home for Lalage's sake by the Legion's road to Rimini, she vowed her heart was mine to take with myself and my shield to Rimini, till the eagles flew from Rimini. And I've tramped Britain and I've tramped Gaul on the Pontic shores where the snowflakes fall, as white as the neck of Lalage, as cold as the heart of Lalage. And I've lost Britain and I've lost Gaul and I've lost Rome, and worst of all, I've lost Lalage. When you go by the Via Aurelia, as thousands have traveled before, remember the luck of the soldier who never saw Rome anymore. Oh, dear was the sweetheart who kissed him, and dear was the mother that bore, but his shield was picked up in the heather, and he never saw Rome anymore. And he left Rome for Lalage's sake by the Legion's road to Rimini. She vowed her heart was his to take with himself and his shield to Rimini, till the eagles flew from Rimini. And And he tramped Britain and he tramped Gaul on the Pontic shores where the snowflakes fall, as white as the neck of the Lage, as cold as the heart of the Lage. And he lost Britain and he lost Gaul, and he lost Rome, and worst of all, he lost the Lage. When you go by the Via Aurelia that runs from the city to Gaul, remember the luck of the soldier who rose to be master of all. He carried the sword and the buckler, he mounted his guard on the wall, till the legions elected him Caesar, and he rose to be master of all. And he left Rome for Lalage's sake on the legion's road to Rimini. She vowed her heart was his to take, with himself and his shield to Rimini, till the eagles flew from Rimini. And he tramped Britain and he tramped Gaul on the Pontic shores where the snowflakes fall, as white as the neck of the Lage, as cold as the heart of the Lage. And he lost Britain and he lost Gaul, and he lost Rome, and worst of all, he lost the Lage. It's 25 marches to Narbo, it's 45 more up the Rhone, and the end may be death in the heather, or life on the emperor's throne. But whether the eagles obey us, or we go to the ravens alone, I'd sooner be Lalage's lover than sit on the emperor's throne. We've all left Rome for Lalage's sake on the legion's road to Rimini. She vowed her heart was ours to take, with ourselves and our shields to Rimini, till the eagles flew from Rimini. And we tramped Britain and we tramped Gaul on the Pontic shores where the snowflakes fall, as white as the neck of the Lage, as cold as the heart of the Lage. And we've lost Britain and we've lost Gaul, and we've lost Rome, and worst of all, we've lost the Lage. Rome never looks where she treads, always her heavy hoofs fall on our bellies, our hearts, and our heads. And Rome never heeds when we squall, her centuries pass on, and that's all. And we gather behind them in hordes and plot to reconquer the wall, with only our tongues for our swords. We are the little folk, we, too little to love or to hate, but leave us alone and you'll see how fast we can drag down the state. We are the worm in the wood, we are the rot at the root, we are the taint in the blood, we are the thorn in the foot. Mistletoe killing an oak, rats gnawing cables in two, moths making holes in a cloak. How they must love what they do. Yes, and we little folk too, we are as busy as they, working our works out of view. Watch and you'll see it someday. We are the little folk, we, too little to love or to hate, but leave us alone and you'll see how fast we can drag down the state. We are the worm in the wood, we are the rot at the root. We are the taint in the blood. We are the thorn in the foot. No, maybe we are not strong, but we know peoples that are, and gladly will guide them along to smash and destroy you in war. Well, we shall be slaves just the same, but when have we never been slaves? And you will die of the shame, and then we will dance on your graves. We are the little folk, we, too little to love or to hate, but leave us alone and you'll see how fast we can drag down the state. We are the worm in the wood. We are the rot at the root. We are the taint in the blood. We are the thorn in the foot. On the downs, in the Weald, on the marshes, I heard the old gods say, here come very many people, we must go away. They take our land to delight in, but their delight destroys. They flay the turf from the sheep walk. They load the downs with noise. They burn coal in the woodland. They seize the oast and the mill. They camp beside our dew ponds. They mar the clean-flanked hill. They string a clamorous magic to fence their souls from thought, till our deep-breathed oaks are silent and our muttering downs tell naught. They comfort themselves with neighbors. They cannot abide alone. It shall be best for their doings when we old gods are gone. Farewell to the downs and the marshes, and the Weald and the forest known. Before there were very many people, before the old gods had gone. With knees that feign to quake, bent head and shaded brow, yet one more time for my father's sake, in Rimmon's house I bow. The curtains part, the trumpet blares, the eunuchs howl aloud, and the great gilt swag-bellied idol glares, insolent over the crowd. This is Rimmon, Lord of the earth, fear him and bow the knee, and I watch my comrades hide their mirth, who rode to the wars with me. For we remember the sun and sand and the rocks whereon we trod, till we came to a scorched and scornful land that did not know our God. And we remember the sacrifice, dead men by hundreds laid, slain while they served his mysteries, and still he would not aid. Praise ye Rimmon, King of kings, who ruleth earth and sky. And again I bow as the censer swings, and the God enthroned goes by. We remember his sacred ark, and the virtuous men who knelt to the dark and the hush behind the dark, wherein we dreamed he dwelt, until we entered to hail him out, and found no more than an old unclean image girded about with cloth of silver and gold. Him we overturned with the butts of our spears, him and his vast designs, to be the scorn of our muleteers and the jest of our halted lines. The priests hushed the matter before it was known, and returned to our fathers afar, and hastily set him again on his throne, because he had won us the war. Therefore with knees that feign to quake, bent head and shaded brow, to this dead dog for my father's sake, in Rimmon's house I bow. Now we are come to our kingdom, and the state is thus and thus. Our legions wait at the palace gate, little it profits us. Now we are come to our kingdom. Now we are come to our kingdom, and the crown is ours to take, with a naked sword at the council board, and under the throne a stake. Now we are come to our kingdom. Now we are come to our kingdom, and the realm is ours by right, with shame and fear for our daily cheer, and heaviness at night. Now we are come to our kingdom. Now we are come to our kingdom, but my love's eyelids fall. All that I wrought, for all that I fought, wrought for please her nothing at all. My crown is of withered leaves, for she sits in the dust and grieves. Now we are come to our kingdom. A king and a mason, a master proven and skilled, I cleared me ground for a palace, such as a king should build. I decreed and dug down to my levels, presently under the silt I came on the wreck of a palace, such as a king had built. There was no worth in the fashion, there was no wit in the plan. Hither and thither and aimless, the ruined footings ran. Masonry brute and mishandled, but carven on every stone. After me cometh a builder, tell him I too have known. Swift to my use in my trenches, where my well-planned groundworks grew, I tumbled his quoins and his ashlars, I cut and reset them anew. Lime I milled out of his marbles, burned it, slacked it, and spread, taking and leaving at pleasure the gifts of the humble dead. Yet I despised not nor gloried, for yet as we wrenched them apart, I read in the raised foundations the heart of that builder's heart, as if he had risen and pleaded. So did I understand the form of the dream he had followed in the face of the thing he had planned. When I was a king and a mason, in the open noon of my pride, they sent me a word from the darkness. They whispered and called me aside. They said, the end is forbidden. They said, thy use is fulfilled. Thy palace shall stand as that other's, the spoil of a king who shall build. I recalled all my men from my trenches, my quarries, my wharves, and my shears. All I had wrought I abandoned to the fate of the faithless years. But I cut upon every timber, and I carved into every stone. After me cometh a builder, tell him I too have known. What's that mutters at my side? The foe that you must fight, my lord, but rides as fast as I can ride. The shadow of your might, my lord. Then wheel my horse against the foe. He's down and over past, my lord. You war against the sunset glow. The judgment follows fast, my lord. Oh, who will stay the sun's descent? King Joshua, he is dead, my lord. I need an hour to repent. That's what our sister said, my lord. Oh, do not slay me in my sins. You're safe a while with us, my lord. Nay, kill me ere the fear begins. We would not serve you thus, my lord. Where is the doom that I must face? 3 little leagues away, my lord. Then mend the horse's laggard pace. We need them for next day, my lord. Next day, unloose my cords. Our sister needed none, my lord. You had no mind to face our swords. And where can cowards run, my lord? You would not kill the soul alive. 'Twas thus our sister cried, my lord. I dare not die with none to shrive, but so our sister died, my lord. Wipe the sweat from brow and cheek. It runnels forth afresh, my lord. Uphold me, for the flesh is weak. You finished with the flesh, my lord. Farewell, romance, the caveman said. With well-carved bone he went away. Flint arms the ignoble arrowhead, and jasper tips the spear today. Changed are the gods of hunt and dance, and he with these farewell romance. Farewell, romance, the lake folks sighed. We lift the weight of flatling years. The caverns on the mountainside hold him who scorns our hutted piers. Lost hills whereby we dare not dwell. Guard ye his rest, romance, farewell. Farewell, romance, the soldier spoke. By skill of sword we may not win, but scoffle mid the unclean smoke of arquebus and culverin. Honor is lost, and none may tell who paid good blows, romance, farewell. Farewell, romance, the skipper said. he vanished with the coal we burn. Our dial marks full steam ahead. Our speed is timed to have a turn. Sure as the ferried barge we ply, from port to port, romance goodbye. Romance the season tickets mourn. He never ran to catch his train, but passed with coach and guard and horn, and left the local late again. Confound romance and all unseen, romance brought up the 9:15. Crowned and throned, he wove his spell, where heart blood beat or hearth smoke curled, with unconsidered miracle, hedged in a backward gazing world, then taught his chosen bard to say, our king was with us yesterday.